Hi, I am Jen. I'm a web designer and website business coach. I'm here to share with you guys the things you need to know before you go ahead and build your own websites, whether you're an entrepreneur or a business owner trying to get your website online, or if you're just a blogger. I think this will be really helpful for you. So a little background with me, I used to be a website coach, so I would work with business owners and help them build their websites step by step and get their websites online. So I know the struggles of a business owner who is trying to build their own website with little to no experience. And these are the things that you're going to need to know in order to build your website or even to get your website online. The first thing that you're going to have to decide is what platform you are going to use. I'm sure you're bombarded with ads like Wix, Squarespace, and Show It, and all these other platforms. My personal favorite is WordPress. I use WordPress for many reasons. The first being is versatility. WordPress has the capability to build any website that you would like. WordPress is also great for SEO, which is search engine optimization. This is how Google is able to search your website and recommend it to people searching on Google. So think about being on the first page of Google. WordPress is great for that. Another reason I love WordPress is because it has the capability to be incredibly fast, and lastly, the ability for almost unlimited customizations. Your WordPress website can really be and look however you would like. And so now that you've decided to use WordPress, you're going to have to distinguish between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. And this is a mistake that I see lots of business owners make at the front. So WordPress.com is not the same as WordPress.org. WordPress.com is completely free. You go on and you create your website name, and it would look something like jenniferellsworth.wordpress.com. It's extremely unprofessional. Granted, it's free, but I promise you're going to want to pay for WordPress.org in the long run. Your ROI is going to be way greater if you just pay for your domain name and your hosting up front. WordPress.com also limits customizations. You cannot have nearly as customized of a website on WordPress.com as you can on WordPress.org. So there are perks. It is free. WordPress.com is great for bloggers if you're just wanting to put out some information. However, if you're a business owner, I strongly recommend you go with WordPress.org. There are some expenses. You are going to have to get your domain name. You are going to have to purchase a hosting provider, which is essentially just a place for your website to live on the internet. I'm sure you've heard of companies like GoDaddy and Bluehost. Those companies are great in order to get your website up and running on the web. The investment upfront isn't too much. Your domain name you're going to have to pay for, which is between $30 to $40, and then you're going to have to pay for a hosting provider. Those expenses are yearly, and they can cost anywhere between $150 to $300. It can seem like a lot up front, but as a business owner, you are going to want to invest in a well-built and solid website, and you're not going to want to go with WordPress.com, because I guarantee you your customers are going to click out of or not even visit your website if your website is, I don't know, books.wordpress.com. Nobody's going to want to visit that because they're not going to consider you a legit business owner. Okay, so please use WordPress.org. The second thing you're going to have to consider is the structure of your website. If you are taking on this monumental task of building your own website, you're going to have to know the basic structure of a website. So we've talked about WordPress. How does WordPress get on the internet? How does it live there? So you're going to call your hosting provider, you're going to set up hosting, and then you're going to purchase your domain name. For example, mine is jenniferellsworth.com. Your hosting provider will be able to download WordPress onto that domain name and into the files of that website. Then you will be able to log into WordPress, typically through your hosting provider's dashboard. Once you're logged into WordPress, you will see the entire WordPress dashboard, and you will not even know what to do with it. There are plenty of tutorials online about how to essentially go from that step in terms of customizing your website. However, the thing that you really need to know is that there's two things that you're going to need on your website. You're going to need a theme, and you're going to need a page builder. So think of WordPress is the entirety of the car. Say you have this awesome Mercedes-Benz car that is WordPress. It could go fast, it can do a lot, but that Mercedes-Benz is not going to go very far or very fast if it doesn't have the awesome engine that's inside of it. The theme to your website is all of the functionality to your websites. It's the motor, it's the brakes, it's everything you need to make that car run and run smoothly. Then you're going to need a page builder. Your page builder is actually going to be the customizable parts of your car. So you have this awesome Mercedes-Benz, you have the cool engine, but now you need to go ahead and put the bucket seats in that you want, or you want this cool paint job. That's where your page builder comes in. That's where you do the fun customizable things inside of WordPress. I'm going to go ahead and link below everything that I recommend, the theme I recommend, and the page builder I recommend. I do use the Astra theme with the Elementor Pro page builder. Elementor Pro is definitely an add-on. You don't have to have Elementor Pro, but I love Elementor the page builder because it is very easy to design your website. Okay, and now we are going to talk about basic maintenance. So when building your website, you're also going to need to know about basic maintenance. And this is a huge downfall for entrepreneurs who maybe built their own website. You've come so far, it's up and running and it looks great, but then you forget to maintain it. There is so much that goes into maintaining a website that many people don't understand. They will build it, they will say, I'm done, and then they'll be hands off with it, and that's not the case. You cannot ever be hands off with a website. It will become deprecated and it won't go on the internet anymore. So when we talked about themes and page builders before, those are things that are gonna have to be updated. People created the theme and they created this page builder for you to download onto your WordPress website, and the developers still come out with updates, just like with apps on your phone. They come out with updates. You need to update them in your WordPress dashboard inside of your WordPress website, or nothing's gonna be there anymore. Your site will crash, and we just simply do not want that. So maintain your site. And then you also need, the last thing we're gonna talk about is the expectations that you have with building your own website. I have talked with entrepreneurs and business owners day in, day out, like I said, and it is no easy task for a business owner to build their own website. There are definitely pros and cons of building your own website. You need to be aware of the expectations. The first expectation, this is a huge learning curve. Whatever industry you're in, if you're not in web design, if you're not in IT, you are not a web designer. You are gonna take 10 times longer than anybody else to build your website, I promise. It's a huge learning curve. People go to school for this. People are in corporate jobs and training for this for a long time in order to hone these skills. And there's still growing amounts of knowledge when it comes to WordPress. It is really a field that I don't think anybody has fully gotten their head completely around. It's completely doable, but know that you're going to be spending a lot of time on your website that you could be devoting to your business, and that is why I recommend you just hire a web designer. However, I know that's not always possible if you're a startup business or if you have other obligations financially. It is possible, but no, you're going to be spending a lot of time on it. One of the pros of building your own website is you're going to get exactly what you want. You know what you have in your head vision-wise. You can keep portraying that to a designer all you want, and we can try our best to relay the vision you have in your head onto your website, but only you can see exactly what is in your head. So you really are going to get exactly what you want when you're building your own website. On the flip side of that, the con of building your own website is that you're going to be extremely picky about things that do not matter and other people will not notice. Whether it's the font size going up or down, or one little line going here or there, you're going to be more picky than even a web designer is going to be about your own website, which goes back into my first point, is that's why it's going to take you so much time to build your website, because you're going to be so incredibly picky about it. Okay, so these are things that you're going to need to know before you decide to build your website. So to go ahead and recap, the first thing you're going to need to know is what are you building your website on? You're going to need to know who is your hosting provider going to be. You're going to need to know the difference between WordPresscom and WordPress.org. You're going to need to know the structure of a website, what theme you're going to download, and what page builder you're going to download, and you need to know basic maintenance. And then you also need to know the pros and cons. You need to have the expectation in your head of what it's going to be like building your own website as a business owner. So thank you for sticking around for this video. It's my first YouTube video, so please don't be too harsh on me, but I am excited to teach you guys everything that I know about websites and building websites and getting your website online.